Thanks for joining us today. We are going to let everybody kind of take a minute or so to join up. Thanks for being here. We're very excited to talk about funding your degree today. My name is Kate Deering. I am an assistant director within Gies Online Programs, so part of the larger Gies College of Business. We have graduate programs, we have residential graduate programs as well as online. So I focus much more in the online space. As everyone starts joining us here, we're very excited to have you here. I'm going to drop just a quick link in the chat so that you have this as a resource. This is our funding page in our new website. So you can access that and maybe kind of see what questions you have as we move throughout our presentation today. You may have noticed a QR code on your screen. Hopefully you do. That is just a great resource if you want to scan that with your camera and you would like to talk with one of either myself or one of our admission counselors from our office. Just scan that and we'll reach right back out to you here in another day or so. All right, well, I see we've got some people joining us and we're going to just kind of start working through our presentation here slowly, but you are at the Gies Online iDegree workshop for funding your Gies business degree. And I'm going to advance my slide here. Our agenda today, we are going to talk about a little bit of an overview of Gies Online programs and the credentials that you can earn, and then touch on the tuition structure, and then we are going to hear from our special guest, Scott Pinkerton, who's going to talk about financial resources and payment plans and tuition, how we do our billing and all of those fun things. And then we'll have time at the end for a Q&A. I guess, first of all, I'm going to have Scott introduce himself. He is a senior coordinator from the University Bursar office. You are going to get to know this office really well. It's a great resource. Every time I talk to folks over there in that office, they're so nice and very helpful. So I'm excited to connect you with Scott. Scott, can you introduce yourself and maybe just tell us a little bit about your path to the Bursar office? And maybe just give our guests today a little piece of advice. I'm sure they're all very nervous about getting started and paying for this substantial degree. It's a big investment. If you have any advice just before we get started for them.
Yeah, hi, everybody. Good day wherever you are. And it's really fun to be part of this. We're always excited to help people get off to a good foot financially, because people tend to get stressed as the tuition deadlines get closer and they're scrambling to get stuff paid. So we are the mean billing people in a way, but we're also your advocates. We're here to help you understand stuff. The university is a big place and you'll see different charges put on your account by a lot of different departments. If you end up living on campus, which you probably won't, housing, tuition and fees is be assessed by the registrar's office. So we don't actually put charges on your account, but we can help you figure out who you need to talk to if you have a question about something that isn't Gies related. So the folks at Gies are great. We work with them really closely. They're happy to help as well. But there are no dumb questions. I'll put some of our contact information in the chat before I even get started. So you might want to pull up our website before I do my presentation. But yeah, there are no dumb questions. We're your advocates. We're here to help you. Some of the online Gies programs have non-traditional semester lengths, so it's a little bit of a challenge kind of plugging you into a standard 16-week traditional semester. But we understand some of the complexities of doing that. And this is all still fairly new, so we're still making accommodations every year and learning from the feedback we get from you, and we just work together and we just get you through this. So I think that's a good enough start for now, right?
That is perfect.
Awesome.
I did want to point out, just as you have questions during this time today, feel free to throw your questions in the Q&A feature. That's a great place to put them. Everybody can see those questions and answers. It's easy for us to facilitate those. I have my colleague, Amy Simpson here. She's a coordinator within online programs as well. She is going to help out in that Q&A feature. And then if you have any questions for Scott, feel free to throw those there as well. So let's get started. I did want to first just give you a quick overview of Gies Business online program. So hopefully you're familiar with one of our programs because you're here today and you're interested in paying for that program, but we have, just some great options here within Gies Business. And whether you're interested in learning a single skill or you want to earn a full degree, we really have an option for you. So I just wanted to share a little bit of the background or the pillars that kind of make up online programs. And the first pillar is flexibility. Our programs are so flexible. This is a core theme throughout our programs, in that we have no travel requirements. Courses are delivered completely online, including all your classwork, your group work, your group projects. And there's really just no disruption to your full-time job or your family commitments. So you can go on vacation, you can still attend class and not have to stop your full-time job in order to learn. The other thing, obviously, that's super flexible is our payment structure. We have a pay-as-you-go tuition model, which is amazing for our students. It really allows kind of a flexible payment plan in that you pay only for the courses that you are registered for in that time. There's so many options. We're going to learn about a lot of those options here, but we have 8-week terms as another a flexible option where you will take either one course or two depending on your schedule. So many flexible options here at Gies. The next pillar is stackability, and our credentials and online programs, they stack and work together. So this unique stackability is going to allow you to approach learning at a point that's makes sense for you. So we have options where you can just test drive a course. We have obviously degree options where you can apply to a full degree plan. Many options, and you can build upon each credential that you start with. So and then the last point I wanted to make is just that this program is online by design. And by that, we mean that we created this platform and this program to be online intentionally back in 2016. So we created this really highly engaging content that you can access anywhere, anytime without giving up your career or your family commitments, as we talked about. So just to dive a little bit deeper into the stackable build of Gies Online, these are a lot of options that you have. And we're going to talk about the degree access points here in just a moment, because there's many ways to enter into learning within Gies. But these building blocks here represent all the different credentials or starting points that you could choose. We have free online courses, which are MOOCs on the Coursera platform. These give you specific foundational knowledge in a skill area. That next box is 4-credit courses. So you could take one of our courses just alone, enroll as a non-degree student, and be taught by Gies faculty and earn transcript credit from the University of Illinois. The next step would be graduate certificates. So you can combine 12 hours of credit and earn a graduate certificate that's a transcriptable note on your University of Illinois transcript. And you're going to learn domain mastery in a specific area like strategic leadership and management or digital marketing, many options. So we currently have 8 graduate certificates and have many more coming here in the near future. And then lastly, we have our online degrees, our master's degrees. These are, obviously larger kind of commitments is the word I was looking for. But you can stack your MOOCs, you can stack your 4-credit course, you can stack a graduate certificate. All of these are stackable into your master's degree. So you can kind of build to a point where you're ready for that full degree. One thing I wanted to give you an overview is what's included in our courses if you're curious about what you're getting yourself into. And all of our courses are made up of primarily 2 parts. One part is the foundational material, and then there's also a high engagement component that works together with that foundational material. The foundational material is found in our Coursera MOOCs, and these are non-credit bearing courses that you're going to complete asynchronously on your own time. They offer specific career aligned training, like a couple examples would be foundations of everyday leadership, or developing a winning marketing strategy is another MOOC that we have. 2 of those are included in every 4 credit hour course that we offer here at Gies. You'll earn a digital certificate, and you will enroll through the Coursera platform. So you can either audit these for free, or if you do want to earn that actual certificate at the end, I think they will have a monthly fee that you pay, and then you'll be able to earn that certificate. These are stackable into your University of Illinois Gies 4 credit hour course in a completion credit. So in addition to that, you will still have to complete the high engagement component, which is the other big part of our courses. So all of our courses have 2 of those MOOCs included, as well as a high engagement component. This high engagement component is going to build upon that MOOC foundational material. The MOOCs are kind of like your textbook in the course. What the high engagement component adds to that is your real world scenarios and the projects that you're going to talk about in your live sessions with your faculty members and your fellow students. Included in the high engagement component is a 90-minute live class each week on Zoom, where you'll be interacting with your faculty member. You'll have small group breakout sessions. These are offered at several different times during the day, so that we can make sure that we're accommodating our global time zones of all of our students that are attending these live lectures. You'll also have group projects where you'll be paired up with 4 to 5 other students. You'll work on a project, and typically the projects, you'll have time to work on those over the weekend. Our work week works a little differently in that live sessions are usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You usually have the weekend to kind of work on your homework and your group projects, and then assignments are typically due on Tuesday evening. So a little bit different for our working students in the program. And then lastly, your faculty is really available for faculty office hours several different times during your week. I highly recommend these faculty office hours. A great opportunity to get in front of your professor, get to know them, ask questions, listen to others in the office hours, listen to their questions. Just a great place to kind of pull through those concepts that you've learned in the live sessions. So just recap together, you're going to have 2 MOOCs, you're going to have this high engagement component. Those all work together to develop your learning, and after that, you will earn your 4 credit hour transcript credit for, excuse me, those Illinois Gies courses. Couple points here. So we talk about degree access points. You don't necessarily have to start and apply to your master's degree. You could start with a non-credit course that's a course that could be later applied to your degree if it's a required course. So that's one access point. We have another access point. You could, actually that's the second access point. You could also start with a MOOC individually and just kind of start with that Coursera foundational material first as a great starting point. If you take a 4 credit course, you could also take 12 hours of 4 credit courses that would be a graduate certificate. So you could actually outright apply to earn a graduate certificate. And then that would be stackable into one of our degree plans. And then one other option is the performance-based admissions track. This is a route for some students who want to try one of our degree programs, or they may not have a minimum GPA of 3.0, which we require for our degree programs. If you don't quite meet that, this might be a great place for you to start. Possibly you have a gap in your work experience. That would be another option that this would be a great place for you. Basically, the PAT track, or the performance-based admissions track, is you'll take a set of 3 courses. You will have to earn a B or better in at least 2 of the 3 courses, and we will evaluate your grades, and then you will be automatically admitted. You actually do go through the same application process as a degree student, but at that time, then we would admit you as a non-degree student first, so that you can try out these courses, make sure you can handle the academic rigor of the program, and prove yourself, and then we will invite you to the degree program if you meet those requirements. So another amazing option or degree access point. So I did want to just cover those so that you know that there's many ways to increase your knowledge. and enter wherever you're at in your learner journey. We have a whole team of myself, admission counselors that can work with you on making that correct choice or going down the right path for you. My last slide, I just wanted to give you an update of our fall 2023 tuition numbers, basically. So you can see on the screen the IMBA, our base per credit hour cost is $332 per credit hour. So if you multiply that out by the number of credit hours in your particular program, you'll see the totals there on your screen. The IMSA, I'll just note, is a range because we do require one non-accounting elective that's included, and accounting courses are $850 per credit hour. So depending on how many non-accounting electives you choose, you will have a little bit of a different tuition for your program. So okay, that was a lot of information. I know I'm probably talking kind of fast, but I want to get to the meat of our program with Scott. And so let's turn it over to Scott with the University Bursar office, and then we'll also have time at the end. I know we had some submitted questions about scholarship opportunities, things like that, and I'm sure there's questions in the chat, so I will catch up there, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Cool. Thanks, Kate. So again, my name's Scott. I manage customer service for the University of Illinois system. I technically work for all three colleges, but I live in Champaign, and let's face it, UIUC is the best school out of the three, right? Am I right? And I was actually admitted to the College of Business years ago before it had the Gies branding, and I have 2 online degrees, so I have empathy for all of our students, but I have a real heart for helping online students. I know my online advisors helped me a lot through my online college experience. So I know the importance of being able to reach out to an office that, can assist you virtually and has skills to do that. So believe me when I tell you we're advocates for all students, but I personally really have a heart for helping online students be successful. So we are the mean billing people, as I mentioned. I've talked about that before. So I'm just going to talk about a couple things that are really important. First of all, the Pay My Bill website. I really encourage you to bookmark that right away. That's going to answer questions you don't even have yet. If you're an international student, there's a chat bot in the corner that'll answer questions, 24 hours around the clock. We have all kind of different contact information, and I'll share that. But one of the things I want to talk about is authorized payers. There's a federal law that mandates that we can't talk to anybody but the student about their financial matters. For grad students, typically it's not as big a deal as undergrads, but if you want somebody that can be your advocate while you're studying, you can make payments and, ask us questions and maybe set up a payment plan or do stuff like that, you do need to set them up as an authorized payer. That's definitely a big deal. So let's get that done right away if you can. It's very frustrating to talk to a parent or a guardian or something about stuff and say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. So please save us from that. So we move on. Next slide, Kate. Thanks. So direct deposit is a big deal. We want all students to do. This has to be a U.S. account. It can be anybody's account. It doesn't matter to us. All you need is the routing number and account number. This is for any refund you might get. This is not how we take money to pay for your charges on your account. This is definitely the route that we use to return money to you if you have a refund, and you might not. But this is a one and done thing. Once you do this one time, you don't need to do it again, but you can certainly change your bank account at any point if you want to do that. So next. So the vast majority of our payments, probably over 96% now, are made online with either an e-check or a credit card. E-checks are free. You just need the routing number and account number from a US-based checking or some savings accounts let you do it as well. So we really encourage e-checks if you can. Any kind of card payment, debit card, credit card, has a separate 2.5% non-refundable service fee added to it. We disclose this amount to you. You kind of agree to it before you do it. It says it's not refundable. It's really not refundable because it's not paid to the university. It's paid to the gateway that processes the card transaction. So if thinking about pulling out your debit card and paying for your tuition, please don't do that. Take the time to get the routing number and account number from the bottom of a check or your bank's website. Use an e-check payment instead. The first time you make a payment, you'll have the option to store that as a payment profile, so you can name it Chase checking or PNC savings, or, you know, whatever you want to name it. So it's real convenient for you in the future. You can just log into UiPay, type in how much you want to pay, choose your payment profile, hit submit. You'll get an email confirmation a few minutes later, and you'll be good to go. We do offer an optional payment plan that lets you spread charges out between the beginning of the semester and, in the case of fall, through November 20th. There's a $40 setup fee for that, but then there's no transaction charges or late fees or financial holds or anything like that. You're just agreeing that we can debit your checking account every month on the 20th. You can also use a credit card for that if you like, but just remember that 2.5% payment plan. Again, that's just an optional thing we offer. You know, if you've got aid or something that's going to pay your balance in full, you probably don't need a payment plan. So we would encourage you to contact us if you're kind of on the fence whether you think a payment plan is appropriate. But we do that every semester. So if you do it for fall and decide you don't need it in the future, that's fine. If you don't do it for fall and say, hey, gee, maybe I'll try that for spring, you know, totally your choice. It's just a very popular option we offer. We have 3 great vendors for international payments that you can make through UiPay, Flywire, Pay My Tuition, and we have a new one called CIBC Bank, which is a Canadian bank. I know Flywire and Pay My Tuition offer no initial fees. They offer a great foreign exchange rate that they guarantee. You can track the payments in progress like a FedEx package or an Amazon package. So you know where your funds are at all steps in the process. And it's made through UiPay like any other payment. So the process is very secure. If you offer a 529 plan, you don't need to let us know about that. You can just contact your plan administrator in early September and just have them issue a check to us. I think our contact information is on the last slide. All this is on our website, so I don't expect you to remember everything I'm telling you today. If you have College Illinois, we have a page on our website for that as well. So again, we offered the optional payment plan. We'll highlight this again. This is your choice for each semester. Got to be a U.S. bank account, unfortunately. If you're an international student, you want to set up a payment plan. What you might want to do is, if you have a U.S. account, do a direct wire transfer from your home bank to your U.S. bank, and then set the plan up that way. That works well for a lot of students. That way, if you need funds above and beyond just your study expenses, you can do that. Again, there's deadlines every month. You can sign up for a plan in August if you want, or September, but there are deadlines to enroll for each one. And again, that's the link to our payment plan. So again, 3 great partners here. I didn't remember the slide was on here. All of these are made through UiPay, no fees for those transactions, great currency exchange rates, tracking availability that'll really help you there. I'll move through this real quickly. And then was there, yeah, okay. And then this is probably the main one you need, because you guys are all smart. You were smart enough to, come to Gies and make that choice. So yeah, that already tells me you're way ahead of the game. So again, contact information is there. There are no dumb questions. Please email us or call us and just ask us whatever you're thinking about. I know online students have some unique challenges. So again, we're really here to help you guys and to be your advocates in that stuff. Again, we're not the financial aid office, so I see some of the questions in the chat are more financial aid related. So I'll put a couple links to their office in the chat so that you can check that out, but we'll go through the questions too. So I think that's it. Thanks, Kate.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Great overview. So we'll kind of take some of these questions. I do have questions that people submitted ahead of time too, so we'll share some of those with Scott. But Scott, there's one in the Q&A that I thought we could answer live. Sounds like if they enroll in a payment plan on the second deadline, this July 19th, and they get a loan approved or awarded the scholarship, what will be the process then for paying the tuition? So I would assume the scholarship will be reimbursed as we do that.
Yeah, so if you receive a scholarship through your award letter, it gets dispersed right into your student account. It'll automatically pay what it's supposed to pay. If you're in a payment plan at that point, the payment plan system looks at your balance every month. On the morning we take the withdrawals, if it looks like you're set up to overpay, it will decrease your payments automatically. We won't increase them without your permission. We'll send you an email saying, hey, you need to rebalance your plan and increase your payments a little bit. But again, anytime you see a scholarship hit your account and you want to contact us and just ask us to rebalance your plan manually, we're happy to do that too. But the system does catch discrepancies like that every month when it runs the process.
Okay. Great question.
Yeah,
okay, Brian has a question, and His question is to be sure that I understood the information correctly. If we complete the foundational courses on Coursera, would that mean that we are halfway there for the overall program? The answer is no, in that if you complete a Coursera course ahead of time on your own, that's fabulous. But basically you've done like the homework and the textbook, the reading, you've done that portion, and you will earn a completion credit if you have that certificate towards your degree. So say you're admitted, we link up your Coursera account to our Canvas account. Those kind of communicate and see what certificates you've earned. Great, your professor will see that you earn that certificate. You won't earn your actual transcript credit until you've completed the high engagement component, which is really the main part of your course. So you'll have those group projects, assignments, readings, case studies, things that your professor is assigning in their curriculum. So yes, you earn credit, but it's a completion credit, and then you'll still have that high engagement component to complete. So you won't be halfway there, but you'll have a great understanding of the foundational material. Common question, Brian. Thanks for asking that. Okay, Scott put the financial aid questions in there. I see setting up a direct deposit being in Canada. Is that the same as being in the US, Scott?
Yeah, and this is one where I would say the answer is definitely maybe. A lot of bigger Canadian banks have an affiliate with the US bank, so that you can set that up and it will work okay. A quick way to know if it's going to work is look at the routing number. If the routing number isn't 9 digits, if it's an 8-digit routing number, it probably won't work. So we encourage you to double check that. And the system generally can say, yeah, this account isn't going to work for that. But some of the major banks, and hopefully CIBC is going to be able to do that with us. That's one of the things we're hoping they're going to be able to provide, because that does happen a lot. We have a lot of Canadian students, and so we're always, one of the reasons we set up this relationship with CIBC Bank is because we thought they were going to be able to help with that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's where it, just in case it won't work, is there any alternative?
I mean, the only thing I can say is, if you're an international student and you have no intention of ever getting a US bank, just make sure your mailing address and student self-service is current. Because in those situations, we can, eventually issue a paper check to that bank account, but we don't do that by default because most students that are international are actually on campus studying. And the last thing we want to do is mail a check to their home country where they can't cash it or do anything with it. So that's one of the reasons we push direct deposit so strongly. But ultimately, if there is an overpayment, there is a mechanism to get that refunded via paper check. So if you're leaving the university or you see a credit balance on your account, make sure that you've got an active mailing address in self-service. And then if you contact us about that, just say, yeah, my address is current, and then we can issue a check that way. But again, security wise and just the time it takes traveling for some to get overseas, we don't recommend that.
Okay. Okay, this is a common question that we get all the time with our 8-week terms. For fall courses, how does payment plan, this is the question, how do payment plans work out for fall 1 and fall 2 semester and for spring? Is the cost combined all at once and you start paying in August? Or can you spread that out?
Yeah, this is one of the things I talked about where, with the online program still being fairly new and the vast majority of students in a 16-week system, this is sort of one of the square peg and a round hole things we still deal with. The bottom line is if you register for a class, you're going to be billed for the class. So if you don't want to be billed for 2 classes at the same time, hold off on registering for that second class as long as you can. A lot of the Gies advisors are on our production calendar schedule, so they know when we run billing, so they can help you strategize on, financially the best time for you to add that class so you're billed as late as possible. But our office, like I mentioned before, doesn't put the charges on your account. So if you sign up for a class that has a charge, it's going to get assessed, and it's going to be due generally the month after it's put on your student account. So,
Okay.
Again, the takeaway is sort of, if you don't want to get billed, don't sign up.
Right. So in answer also, just to add to that, Kevin, I think it typically it hits the account around that first week of classes. Is that correct to say, Scott, around there? Like, I know we're not going to
Yeah. I mean, typically we run billing by default on the second business day of every month.
Okay.
I know in June and in August, we run it later. It's more around the 10th because we're at the start of the traditional semester and we're waiting for students to finalize their schedules. So we don't bill them and then a month
Mhm.
later say, oh, just kidding about that, and send them a
Right.
different bill. So, those 2 months we tend to do it later, but typically we run billing on the second business day of every month otherwise. But that changes
Um,
a little bit depending on the calendar and if there's a
yep,
holiday and blah, blah, blah. But,
lots of factors.
generally the second week of the semester, you're fine.
Okay. To be safe in online programs, one way to naturally kind of spread out your payments would be don't register for both courses before your semester. For term one, you can register for that. Then we'll give you time to register. There'll be a later deadline that you can register for your second course. So if you're concerned about them both hitting, because if you do register for both of them, they will both be charged during the first term. So that's a common thing that happens, but if you want to spread it out, just wait to register for that second course. Great
Mm,
question, and we get that
Yeah.
question all the time.
Yeah.
One one thing I did want to mention is that I see some questions about scholarships. We do have a couple scholarships that we offer. One is in partnership with Coursera, and this will be an option for IMSM, IMSA, and IMBA degree students, not the PAT program. So you do have to be a full degree student. You do need to apply by the priority one deadline in order to be eligible for that scholarship or any of our scholarships. We will not accept any other applications after that. So the minute that you submit, you do need your scholarship essay included in that if you'd like to be eligible. But the Coursera scholarship will reimburse 70% of your tuition. So just a great opportunity. It is very competitive. It's a small amount of students that will be awarded that scholarship. It is based on your academic history. We're looking for, high need based cases, as well as those students who are really active in DEI efforts as well. So if you have questions about like the scholarship specifically, you can reach out to us. We're happy to help. The prompts are within the application, so you'll just have to make sure you include all of that when you actually apply. And then we do have one other scholarship for just IMBA female students, which is the Forte Fellowship Scholarship. It will reimburse 20,000 of your total tuition, which is pretty awesome. But it's just one student per 8-week term that will award that. Very similar background, but we're looking for women that are really dedicated and committed to advancing women in business, as well as a need base. And we're looking for, diverse candidates. So a couple scholarship opportunities there, great options. If you do have questions about that, reach out to us. So I just want to make sure we touched on that. Okay, lots of questions in the Q&A. Let's just make
Yeah.
sure we get all of these. Do you see any that you can answer off?
Yeah.
George?
Brian followed it up and said, does the account have to be owned by us personally? No, we don't have any way of knowing that. If, I usually tell undergrads, if you have a parent footing the bill and you want the refund to go directly to them, that's totally fine with us. Just get it set up. See one about Bright Horizons Ed Assist through your employer. We have a sponsor billing team that's located in Chicago that handles Bright Horizons. There's a page in the payment section of our website on sponsor billing. They want you to upload a financial guarantee letter every semester in another form, and then they will take care of billing Bright Horizons for you. But anything regarding Ed Assist is handled by sponsor billing. If you're an international student or sponsored by a government or a military, sponsor billing can usually help you with that too.
Okay. Excellent. Can I get the link again for Coursera courses for Gies certificate? Yes, I will go ahead and put that in the chat.
And I see Barang asked something about RBC Bank. I'm trying to remember specifically. I don't ever see the bank names. I just see the routing numbers. If it has a 9-digit routing number, it's probably okay. But again, the system will say, yeah, dude, you can't find that, not going to work for you. So it probably doesn't hurt to try.
Okay. Here is that link.
So progressive applicants are not admitted yet. If you have a billing question, can you email us? Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, we're happy to help you figure that out. You know, we're not going to know anything about your charges or anything like that until you're officially admitted. So we're probably going to refer you to the registrar's website. They have a resource. It's cost.illinois.edu. If I can find the chat, I'll put that in there. That's a tuition estimator. If you set up a payment plan with our system too, there's a cost estimator that one of the things I do every year is set it up. So if you say I'm an IMSA student, I'm taking this many hours, we'll give you an estimate of what those charges are. And that's all based on the registrar's website. So where did my chat window go? I'll put some of those resources in there too.
Scott, can you talk a little bit about another, I'm just thinking of common questions, sponsored billing. What's the best way to tackle that as far as like the process?
Just through our website and the payments menu, there's a sponsor billing page. There's an email address where you can contact them. Again, they work with, typically it's like big employers in the US like Boeing, and I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, some of the airlines, you know, any kind of governmental agency, you know, if you're ROTC or that kind of stuff. Anything that's paid through EdAssist, that's a payment portal online through, that's all handled by sponsor billing as well. Not a lot of students typically work with sponsor billing. It's a very small team. But you know, if you have a large employer that's paying, it doesn't hurt to contact them and say, hey, are they covered? Or even customer service, we can generally look and tell you if that's a sponsor that's currently in our system. But we're adding new sponsors all the time. I know there's like 8 more that are coming online for fall this year. So
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
There's a question about, so if you register for your courses all at once for the fall semester, and does that mean that your payments get spread out across the remaining months until November? This person's trying to understand the 5
Right.
or the 6 payment option.
Right. Yeah. If you, and one of the things I talked about that can complicate it, if you're a Gies online student and you're going to take 2 courses in the semester, but you only sign up for 1, and then you set the payment plan up to cover your 2 courses, the system, when it runs the payment process, is going to look at your account and say, oh no, you're overpaying, and it's going to think it's doing you a favor and it's going to decrease your payments automatically. So if you are going to set up a payment plan for the full term, I would go ahead and sign up for both courses at that point, so you don't mess with the system. And we can help you with that. And there's a way we can actually lock your payments in, but we hate to do that because then if you do drop a class, you're overpaying, and you know, we hate that too. So, you know, again, we're aware of the challenges with online systems and how we are trying to integrate, you know, shorter semesters into a longer term framework. You know, we have 95,000 students in the system, so I would like our ship to turn a little more quickly as far as that. But we've made a lot of progress since Gies really became a major player and a big percentage of the students on the Urbana campus for sure. So, you know, we know a lot of workarounds, and the system doesn't accommodate online students perfectly yet, but we work on it. We're always trying to improve it. We're always trying to, like I said, just change our framework to be more flexible where we can. But, you know, we operate the main framework for all the departments. So anything we do takes a huge amount of buy-in from other campus departments. And, you know, it doesn't happen as quickly sometimes as I would like, but again, we're your advocates. If there's an angle we can help you figure out a way to do something you're trying to do, we're going to do it.
Okay. One question, I already applied for the scholarship. I had my interview. How do I know if the scholarship is accepted? We've got that. We are reviewing applications for scholarships. Those will be announced sometime in mid-July. So we're kind of working our way through those. Typically, if you are a finalist, we'll let you know, and we'll also let you know 1 to 2 weeks after your interview that if you're not a finalist, so that we don't keep you hanging too long in that final group. Great questions. Okay, any other questions? We've got 12:40. We got a little more time if there's any other questions. I'm typing a few answers here. But it looks like we've got most of them answered, which is great. Scott, just quick question. Do you mind if people who are not admitted students, if they still reach out to the Bursar help
Oh, of course.
email? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
again,
yes.
we don't have a lot of inside information on your particular situation until you're actually admitted. But if you tell us what you're trying to do and it's a general question, absolutely, we're happy to help.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I've actually called them to understand our payment and registering for which class, and like I promise they're very helpful. As you can see, Scott is just great. So I don't see too many other questions. I'm trying to answer this question, the Canada PR application. Wondering if the IMBA will be considered. The IMBA is a full Master's of Business Administration, no different than one that you would earn in person. So, so I think the answer would be yes, but I'm not totally sure what the Canada PR application is, but it doesn't say online or on your transcripts or your degree, or you will have a full Master's of Business Administration. So question in the chat, what is the criteria for payment program?
You have to have a balance of at least $500. And mainly that's because there's a $40 fee for setting it up. And it really doesn't make sense to spend a $40 for a balance smaller than that. You'd be better off just taking a late fee and paying it as you can. So we have your account can't be past due. So if you have a past due balance, you're not going to be able to get into a standard payment plan. But other than that, I mean, you have to have a US bank account that we can take money from every month. But other than that, the bar is pretty low.
Okay. One last question from Brian. It says, you always get confused on which program to select on the application system. With Coursera courses completed, do we select non-degree? So non-degree and degree. Basically, not anybody can take a non-degree course. You still need to fill out an application. It's very brief. We just want to know that you have a bachelor's degree. But you can take any of our elective courses, our full core required courses as a non-degree student. You're going to pay the full tuition for one course, which is going to run right around $1,380 US dollars, so $1,380. Great way to try out a course, see if you like it. And then you will, if that is a degree requirement or an elective course included in one of our master's degree programs, yes, that will count as one of your 4 credit hour courses. So just an excellent way. You're not out anything. If you try that and you love it, then you're 1 course into, let's say, your 9 courses for the MSM program. So yes, that's an excellent option, Brian. We recommend that for a lot of people who just really aren't sure and they want to check out the program. Okay, so for the fall 1 semester, when would be the deadline to pay if you plan to take 2 courses, or when is the deadline to set up payment plan? Can the payment plan be set up through Flywire if you don't have a US account? So there's lots of questions there.
Yeah, not through Flywire at this point. You can contact us if you have special questions about payments like that. Traditional students, I would tell them your charges are due September 28th. For online students, it depends on when you get billed for the class. So whenever you see the charges appear on your account, they're typically due on the 28th of the month after that, generally speaking. Again, we have different, different days in each month when we run billing and update billing, but yeah, don't sign up for a class if you're not ready to pay for it, within a month or 2 anyway.
Yeah, that goes along with, yes, you can register just for the first term, the first 8-week term, right. Wait some time and then register for the second 8-week term. That's our best advice there. Okay, I think we've got all the questions. I keep saying that and then more pop up.
That's okay, we love it.
Yes, I know. This is so great. No credit check. Great question. This will be recorded, so it'll be living on our YouTube page. We'll also send it out to those who attended today or missed this presentation. Okay, can you pay ahead manually in a payment plan? So I guess we didn't really talk about the payment plan option. So if you're enrolled and you're billed for 3 payment plan and just missed the deadline for the 4 payment plan, but you want to spread that cost out more, can you pay ahead? It sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, if you really wanted to do that, and you guys are all business students, so if your charges were, I'm trying to think of an easy number, $6,000, and you wanted a 4 payment plan where you had $1,500 a month payments, but you ended up signing up for the 3 payment plan where they were $2,000. As long as you have charges on your account, you could make a manual payment to get back on track if you wanted to do that. UiPay, which is our payment system, won't let you make an overpayment. So if you had a zero balance at that point, it wouldn't let you make $1,000 payment because we don't want it just to get refunded to you because there's nothing on your account. So there's a way to do that. I mean, typically people that want to do that, once they get into the plan, they just think, well, I'll just keep my money in my pocket. And, we know about interest accrual and all that stuff too. So, there's a way to do that as long as you have a charge on your account to offset it. But generally speaking, most people, once they start to do that, they go, well, it's dumb. I should just keep the money in my pocket. And it's not dumb, but it's just, maybe not to your best advantage.
Okay.
Unless you're like me and you spend money before you, spend too much money and you just want to pay it so you don't get in the hole.
It's another option. So,
Yeah.
okay, I think we've got most of our questions answered. This was such a great session. We have a lot of these resources on our website. Obviously, we've provided the Bursar website. You can call. I'm not sure you'll ever get Scott, but you can get their whole team there. They have a whole call team that will answer any of your questions.
They're all much smarter than I
am. So we really appreciate everybody being here. Hopefully you're excited about joining us and this alleviated some of your concerns. And we have lots of people to help walk you through that. Scott, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we look forward to doing these maybe another time in the future. But for now, everybody have a great rest of your week. And we look forward to meeting you soon.